Top of the AM, top of the AM, top of the AM, man. It's that dude Pro Lift. And we back with episode 45. Fatherhood, hip hop, and sports, man. First and foremost, man, I just want to give thanks to the creator for giving me life, giving me health, for giving me strength, for giving me balance, for giving me patience. Because every day is a challenge. Every day is an obstacle. Every day is an exam. Every day is a test. But the most important thing is we have to keep our heart and our mind and our focus and our energy and our soul on love. Being misunderstood, it's okay. Being talked down on, it's okay. But the thing is, laying down, quitting, giving up, looking down on yourself, that's unacceptable. That's not okay. Especially to these fathers. Man, fatherhood has been so good to me. I know it's been good to all the fathers out here across the world, across the universe. Here in San Diego, big shout out to the 229 family. My turf, my set, my home. Thank you guys for so much love and protection and care over the years. I'm totally aware that a little time and a little distance can cause some confusion. It can cause some discombobulation, but at the end of the day, like the great neighborhood Nip would say, we marathoning. This shit is a pace. It's not a race. This shit is about longevity. It's not about in the moment, even though staying in the moment is very important. It's very critical. Speaking of moments, I want to send a special shout out, man, to the OG Robert West, Sophie's. He just had a birthday a couple days ago. I'm speaking on this man, this God-fearing man, this father, this brother, this son, this giver, this philanthropist, the activist, the movie star, Mr. 619, a real community revolutionary, in progress type of guy. Stand up. He meant a lot to Dago. He meant a lot to his mom. Big shout out to OG Papa Soso, his father. They lost a lot of time, and I'm very aware that him and his dad had just recently had connected due to correctional facilities and the judicial system and how flawed and how corrupt it is. And man, the homie was thriving. He had implanted some seeds and they were sprouting. And I'm speaking on this because Fine Word Entertainment, Surviving Angola. Big shout out to Kunta Burnell, Sydney. Big shout out to the EP, the first lady, the only lady, Miss Jenny West, man. She been pushing your brand to the max, OG. And she's the true definition of a ride or die. And it's been such an honor and a privilege to be able to rub shoulders with so many dope people, but life be lifing. We all go through things. I just lost my brother about a month ago. I'm still missing him. Mr. Kevin Terrell, number 9 Bryant. He meant a lot to me. He raised me. He gave me good game. I slept in his bed. I wore his clothes. So how are you supposed to feel when your loved one just tragically just checks out, get murdered, just check out? It's a different type of hurt. It's a different type of pain. And I'm very aware that we all have been grieving. We all been lifing. We all been going through some trials and tribulations. But the most important thing is, and this is to all the fathers, this is to all the mothers, because the mothers are the glue stick. The mothers are the ones that make all of this life shit possible. We got to keep going. We got to stay loved. We got to stay focused. We got to stay prayed up. We got to believe in what we're praying for, because at the end of the day, in the snap of a finger, this shit can all be over with. We can check up out of here. So I'm just trying to stay mindful. I'm just trying to stay consistent. I'm just trying to stay balanced because fatherhood, man, it's one of the most precious gifts the Most High can give us, and I never took it lightly. Even in my selfish moments, even in the moments where I feel like I didn't deserve these babies, I didn't deserve that opportunity. The Most High had different plans. The Most High had a whole different trajectory for my life. So at the end of the day, episode 45, Fatherhood, Hip Hop, and Sports, I never want to leave you again. The content, the backgrounds, the graphics, and all of that, all that's going to change. We're going to beef all that up. We're going to turn that all up. But the most important thing is, never going back into your shell. Never go back into that nomadic mode to where you feel like you didn't have nothing else to give. Nah, we all got a lot to give, but we got to have that courage. We got to be brave. We got to be strong inside, and we got to be able to take all the punches, all the being spit on, all the being lied on, all the goddamn just misunderstood. And we got to still keep going. We got to keep still thriving. And that's one thing I can say about the homie OG Fees, man. He had a very extensive background. He proudly spoke on during his time. He proudly spoke on the things he went through with his mom and his sister and shit coming up, and a lot of his interviews and stuff. And man, I just find it very remarkable how the great ones can real life just go into their most vulnerable stages and just give you the most raw experiences of who they really are, and in the end they still be misunderstood. But all the real ones, we know. Use the Trailblazer Fees, 619, they love you. Win and Wade, they love you. Your mom, your family, your kids, your sister, J Bell, Mario, man, all your close ones, man, Mass, man, Mr. Tan, man, Mr. Tan, he been at all your events. Anything that's been popping up, that's been connected to you, man. Big shout out to the OG homie, Mr. Tan, man, legend. From Baby Boy, man. Y'all know the movie. Y'all know it's his story. They got a part 2 cooking. I really believe in the works. Snoop. Big shout out to OG Snoop, man, which we going to go right into hip-hop at that. Man, OG Snoop, man, he been on a run. He been on a tear. He's been inspiring all of us as artists, all of us as entertainers, all of us as content creators, that you can come from any background, any walk of life, and still thrive, and still be great, and be golden, and be loved. And I just want to say, we love you, OG Calvin Brothers, aka better known to the world as Snoop D-O-double-G. We love you, Unc. You inspired us all to just stay on the gas and just stay creative as possible, and just keep putting out content and just keep being dope, but staying mindful and staying within the moment and staying prayed up, knowing that you got to be consistent. We got to be creative. We got to think harder. We got to brainstorm harder. And when I think back on your whole career as an artist, and I look back at all the tribulations and things you overcome, a lot of people didn't see you in this moment, but I know in your heart, your wife's heart. Big shout out to the boss lady, man. Queen Shantae, man. Another true definition of a ride or die, man. It's very important when we out here chasing our goals and our dreams. We got people that's gonna be behind us and support us through all the bullshit, through all the slander, through all the lies, through all the gossip. It's very critical that we got a ride or die, man, that's gonna push our brand, push our legacy until the day we die, and even after death. You get what I'm saying? And Snoop, people like Sophie's. Another big shout out to King Nipsey, man. King Nipsey also just had a birthday right after Sophie's. Fees was the 14th. Neighborhood was the 15th. And man, LA still grieving. LA still hurting. One love to your brother, Black Sam, man. Um, all of this is hip hop news. All of this is relevant because the music is oversaturated. You know, it's all murder, it's all guns, it's all sex, and the reality is we can't forget the ones that real life trailblaze. We got to keep talking about them. We got to keep speaking on their names because at the end of the day, uh, these people gave a lot of us confidence and gave a lot of us hope that, hey, you know, if I stay consistent, I stay on my motherfucking grind, I look at things from a long haul perspective. You know, I take care of my kids. I spend that time. I put in that work because that's work. That's a whole nother monster, a whole nother grind. That shit is so deeper than just going to a job and clocking in and putting your ID number in just to get paid. Nah, fatherhood is the most intricate and complex and most confusing job it is, period. Because, of course, the mother is the glue stick, like I said before, but the father is real life. Man, he the catalyst. He the one that's gonna get that child that confidence and that urge and that hunger that you can be anything you want to be in life. You just gotta want it. You gotta try. You gotta do it. You gotta go after it, and never settle. And never settle for no. And I clearly remember there was a lot of times in my life where you couldn't tell me no. Yeah, there was a lot of times in my life you couldn't tell me no, and it's still like that. You really can't tell a person of my character no because I'm gonna find me a loophole. I'm gonna find an answer to that no, and I'm gonna try to do what's right every time as far as uh, taking care of those that love me and take care of me because that's very important. That is very critical. But big special shout out, man, to OG Robert West, better known as So Fine, aka Super Sophies. We love you, OG. Miss you every day. The Surviving Angola, your baby, a project, some work that you put before your own work. I'm just so honored and I'm stoked. It still feels so surreal how a connection to somebody through somebody can connect you to people that really lived a whole soundtrack of my life. Big special shout out to the A Man. Big special shout out to the NO, the Boot, the NOLA, Who Dat Nation, was happening Wodies. Big special shout out to you guys, man. Atlanta, New Orleans was the soundtrack to my life, to my childhood, from 97 to 2007 for a 10-year run. And it still kind of is today. I clearly remember giving a lot of people their flowers on the previous episode in regards to my taste for hip-hop, my go-to music that pumps me up, that gets me going, that puts me in my element. But my childhood wasn't nothing without Pastor Troy. My childhood wasn't nothing without Cash Money, No Limit. My childhood wasn't nothing without 8 Ball MJG. My childhood wasn't nothing without T.I., Jeezy, Gucci Mane. My childhood wasn't nothing, of course, without Outkast. Of course, without Goody Mob. You know, my childhood wasn't nothing without UGK. And you know, all of those artists, all of those groups, all of those entities, they gave a brother, a young black king perspective. They showed they painted pictures that shit 30 years later we all living in those moments, you know, and we can't never forget that as hip hop heads, as rappers, as artists, as whatever we doing out here in the real life world that relates to music to relates to entertainment, that relates to being a content creator, that relates to just being a fucking creative, period. It was always trailblazers that were out here pushing brands and pushing merch before a lot of us. Speaking of merch, man, big special shout out, man, to my Uncle Wave, Western District Wear. I repeat, Western District Wear. You can find that handle on Instagram. He go by Wealth Conscious Wave on Instagram as well. He got the bucket hat game in a chokehold in the 619. He's been a creative with his lane for a very, very long time. And I've always wished it my uncle well. He's always tried to connect me and put me in some merch. But, you know, I have merch of his that I don't even wear a lot. But at the end of the day, I just thought it was necessary that I send a special shout out to Uncle. Merch popped up, keyword. So if y'all want some merch, you liking the bucket hat, oh man, y'all already know. Tossing up the dub. You see what's going on. I ain't got too much to speak on it. The real ones know what's happening. They know what's cracking. You know what it dookie. Big special shout out to you guys. This is home base. Since I've been in this San Diego element, you guys have been very instrumental and vital to, you know, me being able to just go where I want to go in this city, roam how I want to roam, because it's all love. And when you stand in your lane and you respecting your elements, it's all love. So big special shout out to Uncle, man, tossing up the dub, man. Y'all see what it dookie. We outside, episode 45, Fatherhood, Hip Hop, and Sports. We in our element, we in our zone. But yeah, man, big special shout out to all the creatives, to all the dope artists, man. Big special shout out again to Uncle Snoop. He got a dope record and some dope stuff in the works with La Russell right now. Oh, by the way, I gotta stop and pause for a second and give that young boy his flowers, because it wasn't a motherfucker in the game, in the industry, on the internet, period, that was just beating the internet up during quarantine, during COVID, the way goddamn La Russell was. Russell, these last 2-3 years, he has been a very dynamic entity to the West Coast, man. That cat got a real life vision and a movement going up there in the V. Big shout out to Vallejo, man. Big shout out to the Bay Area, man. La Russell, you a king, you a genius. I hope the Most High continues to shine light on you, your program, your family, everything you got going on, King. It's dope. You're inspiring us all. And seeing you live out your dreams is just so, man, it's mind-blowing, because it can happen for me too. It can happen for these guys too, man. We got guys up here. You see what's going on. You got people come up here faithfully, working on their skating game. They stand sharp. They stand athletic. They stand creative. They stand within the moments, because that's what life's supposed to be about. We're supposed to always have extreme faith, extreme belief that if I keep working hard at something and I stay consistent at something, I can be a GOAT. I can be one of the ones that real life, you know, I can control the narrative. And y'all seen that? That was on point. You all right, bro?
I appreciate it.
Yes, sir. See, when you're an athlete and when you're on point, you alert. Look how that happened. That's all God speed. I'm sitting here doing a real life interview, real time, and dude just fell off the skateboard and Brian to the rescue. His shit ain't cracked. It ain't got no dent, no nothing. I was there to just hand him off. Dropped him a dime. Real life cool, like a real life point guard do. You know what I mean? But the real ones know that too. Been a facilitator, been a giver. You know, been feeding the rock, been feeding the people. Big shout out to OG Buff, Mr. Feed the People out the boot, man. That shit been inspiring, man. It's been inspirational, man. Kunta, you a king. You done connected us with so many dope minds, so many dope people that have been through real life war stories, and this shit is just spooky that we got so much work. We got so much grind. We got so many goddamn projects and things to finish and to accomplish, and it's a lot of loved ones that ain't here with us no more. But guess what? We gotta stay on the gas. We gotta stay pushing. We gotta stay in the element. So when we think of hip hop, man, it's all about being a creator. It's all about being dope. And I'm gonna end the hip hop segment today with, I saw an article, I was reading it, and there was 4 artists that came up just randomly who were the most influential. It was Snoop, it was Dre, it was Ye, and then if you're a real hip hop head, you gotta know who number 4 was. And this ain't even being biased, but here go the notes. And I ain't even read off it. I just really been freestyling everything I've been given today, but you know, when it's here, it flows like the water. And Mr. Tupac Shakur, he flowed like water, man. He was the real life Bruce Lee of rap. The guy was before his time. And that ain't no knock to Big. That ain't no knock to Nas. That ain't no knock to Jay. That ain't no knock to Big L. That ain't no knock to Rakim. That ain't no knock to Ice Cube. That ain't no knock to E40. That ain't no knock to Too Short. You know what I'm saying? That ain't no knock to goddamn Sugar Free. That ain't no knock to DJ Quick. But Tupac Shakur was water. He was before his time. His mindset, his storytelling, and the way he was so intricate in that booth, in that moment, in that element, it was so raw. But he led the pack with 50%. Ye came in at 20, and Dre was at 15, Snoop was at 14. But at the end of the day, we're all artists, we're all creators, we're all painters, we're all sculptors, we're all grinders in our own elements. But it still starts within knowing that it ain't really where you at, it's where you trying to go. And when you get where you trying to go, just make sure we continue to grow. That's my hip hop segment for today. Sports. Oh man, when we're thinking about sports right now, of course we're right in the heart of baseball season. I remember talking on episode 44, man, baseball is a very intricate sport. Baseball is a very raw element that it requires attention. It requires strategy. It requires tactics to where if you don't know the game, you can't really talk about it. You can't speak on it. You can't analyze it. And I played the game at a high level a good part of my life. I love baseball. I love every sport that I ever stepped on a field, on a court to play. You know, when you play to fucking win. I never been okay with playing something just to lose, or doing something just to lose. When I started this podcast, guys, I didn't have intentions off the dribble to be like, okay, well, I'm trying to be in the rhythms of the Stephen A's or the Shannon Sharps or the Harvey Weinsteins or all these, the Rich Einsteins, the Skip Baylesses, the Cam and Maces. A lot of us didn't create these elements to try to be frontlining on some competitive shit. Like, hey, we out here watching other networks and things. We biting it, we jocking it, and we just trying to, push this out here because they doing it. Nah. This podcast came up really on some, like, I had downtime in my life. I knew that was a time I needed to get closer to my babies. I had been giving the United States Postal Service a lot of my time, a lot of my work, a lot of my health, working a graveyard shift and trying to raise 2 infants. It was tough. It was brutal. And those were some trying times that we had to overcome. But I can truly say baseball has always been a sport that it keeps me calm. It keeps me focused. It keeps me attentive. Big special shout out, man, to the hometown team, man. You guys are, whew. And the scary part about it, you're doing it without Tatis. The sky's the limit for the Padres right now. Big special shout out to the guys right across the state lines. They ain't going nowhere. They've already let it be known that what we did last year was no fluke. Now we're gonna apply more pressure. Their off season, you can tell in the work they putting in, it was tactical. It was militant. That shit wasn't no goddamn one hit wonder. Nah, man, that organization is on to something. The motherfucking Diamondbacks on to something. And man, the Dodgers, man, y'all spent too much bread, bro, to be in this moment. But guess what? This is what sports is about. This is what life is about. You know, you gotta compete too. You gotta stay in the moment, knowing that somebody coming for your spot. Somebody gonna try to take your spot, and they trying to be the one, not the two. They trying to be the one, not the two. And the NL West probably will and should put 3 teams in the postseason this season. They're playing remarkable baseball. It's going to be an exciting close. They're under 40 games left. This shit finna get real critical. And, I think Colorado, they done again. They got a lot of work to do. I don't know how long Bud Black going to be a skipper over there, but the Rockies, man, people ain't been talking about tapping the Rockies in years. What's going on? Y'all need to hire Mr. Pro Live to come up to Colorado and shake some shit up. Yeah, man. You know, it might be the route. Y'all need to go. Y'all might need to just go way outside of the element and bring some minds, some creative thinkers in there that ain't even got to have these explosive resumes and a tie to these other 29 organizations. And nah, man, it sounds like y'all need to get some people in that goddamn organization that just can talk passion and talk winning and talk mental toughness, because y'all been doing a lot of losing, a lot of sucking for some years, and seem like y'all ain't even attracting no players that want to come play there. Same thing on the flip side with Chicago White Sox. This team ain't even won 30 games. This is a professional baseball team that play 162 times. They barely got 30 wins, 120 games in. That's not okay. That's not okay. Because it's kind of like, well, why the hell these motherfucking athletes make all this money? You telling me these dudes can't even be 500 in their business and in their sport, in their fucking field? Like, losing like that is just like, it's brutal. But it's life. They going through some trying times. Been going through some trying times for years. But get it together, Chicago. White Sox, Reinsdorf, that family. I know y'all catching flint for how you mishandled the Bulls. You allowed the late, no disrespect, but Jerry Krause fumbled all that. But that was one of the biggest fumbles in sports history. If I was the owner of a team, ain't no way in the hell I'm allowing anybody to tell me Michael Jordan got to go anywhere, Phil Jackson got to go anywhere, and I'm going to take care of Scotty. I'm going to take care of all the people that turned my brand from, what, $100 million brand into, what, $2-3 billion brand? You got to take care of that, Reinsdorf. I hope and pray you can get to the bottom of what's going on with your business and your sports team and shit, but watching it from the outside, being a fan of the game, being an analyst, being a thinker, being prepared for sports strategy conversations. Y'all got a lot of motherfucking work to do up there, man. Same thing with the Cubs. Y'all spent a lot of money. It's a lot of young talent. Y'all season didn't start out how y'all expected. Milwaukee kind of got that little bit in a chokehold. Cardinals are very inconsistent. I don't know if they're gonna be able to catch them. But at the end of the day, this whole element right now, when we're talking sports and baseball and where we at in 2024 here, August the 18th, 17th, my bad. It ain't but a handful of teams that's gonna compete for the hardwood this year. And speaking of handful of teams, New York Yankees, Aaron Boone, you already know what's at stake. It's World Series or nothing. I hate to be harsh, but that's just what's real, man. You know, the Pinstripes, they play for championships. Pinstripes are kind of like the Lakers, man. We're putting people out there. We're spending bread because we're trying to win chips. We're not just spending bread just to go to the playoffs. We're spending bread to get chips. And the Yankees, 15 seasons, they haven't been getting it done. They've been coming up short. We've watched Houston become a low-key dynasty in the American League. Big shout out to the Astros, though, man. Look, man, I don't understand you guys. You guys are like the perfectly oiled machine that don't need oil. All y'all need is some motherfucking water. And I promise you, giving y'all some water, man, y'all know what to do with it. Cause I just didn't see out in the hell y'all was fucking 15 games back, 50 games in, and 100 games in, 120 games in. Y'all what, down there 15, 20 over 500. But see, that's the remarkable thing about baseball. You get in your element. You really get your hand-eye coordination is, at its impeccable height. A lot of great things can happen. A lot of things can change in a 162-game season. And I think that's the thing that's so low-key lethargic about baseball. Baseball is just one of them things where you have to be mindful of the fact that none of this shit is set up or designed for the average American or the average sports lover to kind of follow baseball. I get it. I understand it. But that's where we at right now. And it's only a handful of teams, man, that are really trying to compete for something, man. Big shout out to the Baltimore Orioles. They're kind of like in the same position as the Arizona Diamondbacks. Only thing is with them, they got took care of in the very first round after being the 1 seed to the wild card Rangers, who's been a very disappointment in year 2, but that's kind of like how Bruce Bochy clubs kind of go. Bruce Bochy clubs kind of are like that. He did it with the Giants. They winning in 10, fuck off in 11, come back in 12, fuck off in 13, winning in 14. I'm like, damn. Well, them other few years, it's like, well, what the hell y'all was doing? Just too much partying after the chips and shit. But I saw it all. The Giants were competitive each year. Dodgers was on the rise. They were spending money. They was creative. Padres always were like the little stepbrothers. But now they've overtaken the Giants spot. See, this division now is supposedly be on paper Dodgers, Padres, but now Arizona got something to say about that. Being in that same position the Padres was in most of the 2010s up until 2020, because it was clearly Giants, Dodgers, Padres. Arizona snuck in there one time with the Randy Johnson, Kurt Schilling duo that was so deadly. Big shout out to those legends, to those Hall of Famers. It was such a pleasure to watch you guys go to war out there on that mound. You guys were epic. You guys were genius in y'all elements. So big special shout out to you guys, to the Diamondbacks organization. It's been nothing short of remarkable watching how that organization has done a 720. Fuck a 360. They've done a 720. Because they really were at the bottom of the barrel with Colorado for a good chunk of years. and now they got something to say. And I love that about sports, man. They got something to say. So big shout out to the Diamondbacks. Uh, our power hitters for the year. Uh, when the season started, these were some baseball players that were ranked. ESPN, Bleacher Report, all Associated Press, you know, all the elites that cover sports and put out these rankings and things and give people like us in the free world the tools, the information to go and do the homework and check the stats and then compare the stats, which y'all saying with watching them in real time. And I gotta say they was dead on with how they projected the season when we're talking who will be the most balanced hitters all of 2024. And we're going to start kind of like, not in the order, but they had Bobby Witt Jr. out of KC. Dude is an all-star. He's playing like a monster right now. They was spot on with that. Okay, of course, Shohei Ohtani, the biggest talker all season in baseball. They had him right there behind him. Power hitter, hit for average, but he's one of them ones. Then, of course, Mr. Judge, who is currently dominating the baseball on pace to possibly get 70. He should clear that 62 he did 2 years ago, but he should get close to 70 this season. So big shout out to Aaron. He got paid. He's the cap up there in New York. Now he got a running mate. That was labeled, put right behind him, Mr. Soto. Mr. Soto wins everywhere he goes. I know the Padres are kind of kicking themselves in the ass right now, but they moved on. And they didn't harp on the decision that he made, and they're still playing baseball. And the Most High has blessed them as an organization to still be relevant in the number. And they doing this without a high caliber ball player that's making a lot of money on when we're talking about their payroll. And he's been out. He's been injured for months. And he ain't even back in the lineup yet. And just imagine when he comes back, how Mr. Tatis will affect that program. But he was right there. And then Jose Ramirez. Tatis was right after Soto. Then you got Jose Ramirez been crushing the baseball in Cleveland. And this is post Terry Francona. I'm not too tapped into who their skipper is, but whoever it is, they are doing a remarkable job. They don't really have the AL Central in a chokehold, but they're a postseason team for sure. Big shout out to the Kansas City Royals. Like I said, that's who Bobby Witt is playing for, putting on for. They right there, right behind Kansas City, Minnesota. Been a very inconsistent baseball team for some years, but they kind of, they in the mix. They're still in the mix. So that whole trio of clubs, it's gonna come down to the end. It's gonna come down to the very end. So big shout out to Jose Ramirez, man. Then we had Gunnar Henderson. Ooh, man, Gunnar has been playing elite baseball last couple seasons for the Baltimore Orioles. They're very lucky. They're very fortunate to have a ball player on their roster of his caliber. And it's been such a pleasure, man, to watch Gunnar go compete every night. We all know Jackson Holiday is the future of that club, but Gunnar got a lot to say about that. Gunnar has been in his element. And he's crushing the baseball. He hits power. He's down there at 40 homers. He's top 5 in average. He's a force. Kyle Tucker and Yordan Alvarez was the next duo of batters from the same team that made that cut of the power hitters for the projected season. Kyle Tucker has been out a lot. He has been fortunate to have such a veteran ball club that's been holding the fort down. They will be very blessed and thankful and grateful, I should say, when he can get back into the lineup, help them out going into the postseason, because I feel like they're going back Seattle's just too inconsistent. They haven't gotten no pitching. I don't know what's up with this team. Why they don't focus on pitching. They're one of those organizations and clubs that I've watched for years just overlook pitching. They focus so much on bats and infield to where they just seem like a club that don't attract a lot of elite pitchers. The last elite pitcher they had, they drafted him, I think. That was Felix Hernandez. Then prior to that, it was a gap because Randy Johnson was their guy. We all know he was a Hall of Famer, et cetera, et cetera. Left, and then, year 2 in Arizona, he was a champion. All those electric years and the work he put in Seattle, he carried over to Zona. So he was a force. But I must admit, Houston Astros, Space City, Rocket City, they'll win that division again. Because I don't see Seattle doing much. The Angels, they finna just blow things up. They're not. They finna lose Trout next season. I thought they should have dealt when they dealt with Thone and just rebuild it the whole year, but they trying to hold on to him. He went out publicly and let it be known he wanted to retire there and try his hardest to keep trying to win the championship there. But he's been very professional, and he's been very consistent with his interviews and the things he's been saying, because he knows this shit is way bigger than him as a ball player. It goes back to front office. It goes back to how the people are getting these jobs to put the personnel together. Something ain't clicking in their brain. They ain't able to be intriguing. They ain't been able to be enticing to have the proper talent that want to come play in Anaheim. And there it is. We got generational talents that's being wasted. So you can't blame Othone. Shit, Othone he doing what any motherfucker that knows that he's a brand and he's a force would do. You know what I'm saying? Like, shit, that motherfucker's out here real life putting it down where this shit generational wealth at this point. Every year I step out on that field, within the diamond, within the hardwood, this shit about generational wealth. So I understand that these athletes are praised. We love them. A lot of us desire to be a professional in the sports we love, but sometimes in life, it's okay to just do what I'm doing. We're covering it. We're talking about it at a high level. We're bringing awareness that, there are people out here paying attention. There's people out here that's want to share the information to some people that might like, dialogue in this capacity. So, a big special shout out, man, to all of those batters, man. They've been crushing the baseball. Our last one was Elly De La Cruz for the Cincinnati Reds. He's a stud. He's a star of the league here in the near future, and I'm just so excited to see where his whole setup is going to be. But then when we got down to real time and we broke everything down, our real life top 10 batters of this season so far have been Trey Turner. Big shout out to Trey. He's missed a lot of time this year due to injury, but all 60 games and 60 times he played. Oh my Lord. Crushing the baseball. He's another like Juan Soto type of player. Those guys want to chip together with the Nationals. Everywhere they've been since, they've been pressured. They put a lot of pressure on some people to where it makes sense that they winners. They're succeeding everywhere they go. So big shout out to Trey. At number 9, Brent Rooker, Oakland A's. He get overlooked. Been overlooked the last 2-3 seasons, but dude is a monster at the plate. Crushes the baseball. Been hit by 320 to 330 the last couple seasons, but he gets overlooked because the Oakland A's. They're another one of them clubs, similar to the White Sox, similar to the Rockies. They're not attracting talent. The fan base is very frustrated, very distraught, and I think it's very critical and necessary that Oakland get it together. I don't know if they're gonna get that bill and get passed to go to Vegas, but y'all been having a lot of talent on y'all teams here the last decade, and just seeing like y'all the organization that the solid team just take all y'all good players here and there, and then y'all just put out more, bring up more talent. Can't win consistently through a 162 season, and then a year or two later they'll start somewhere else. So I know that's frustrating and mind blowing. That's damn man, why you keep doing that? You see I'm standing here. Come on, you can go out all the way, man. Uh, at the end of the day, I feel like these guys are not getting it up top. Oakland got a lot of work to do as a whole, and I just hope and pray that they can figure it out and get some baseball going back in a positive direction for athletics fans, because it probably won't be too much longer they're gonna be in Oakland. That's sad because Oakland A's have been a staple to the Bay Area for a long time, same way the Raiders were. So it's only right that they're trying to run to Vegas where the Raiders at. But y'all got to come up with a goddamn strategy though, too though. Be appealing or something. And I know it's y'all history that's appealing Vegas, but it's something that's holding that back. And I just feel like Brent Rooker is one of those talents that y'all probably won't have him much longer, man. Right after Brent Rooker, we got Steven Kwan, man. I call him Baby Ichiro. Dude crushes the baseball. Don't nothing get by him. Crushes the baseball. He's one of the running mates with Jose Ramirez up there in Cleveland. He's an engine. He's a focal point to what they're doing currently. So big shout out to Steven. At 7, you got Devers, man. I talked about Devers a little bit on the previous episode. Boston wasting talent. Y'all got to get some pieces around him, because if not, he's gonna become distraught. He's gonna become angry. He's gonna become upset, and you guys gonna be in a position to lose him. So you guys got to get it together. Please get it together, Boston. At 6, Soto. At 5, that Bobby Witt. 4, Gunner. Number 3 was Bryce. We know what Bryce doing up in Philly. Philly jumped out the hottest team in baseball all season long. Then the Yankees got hot. And it seemed like a runaway show where it was going to be Philly and New York. Dodgers got hot. They came in. But I think when it's all said and done, it's about who playing good baseball in the next month and a half. Don't give a fuck about what happens at the end in 162. Because when you complete 162 and you're good enough to get in the dance, shit, when you get in the dance, you got to go dance. Ain't nobody going to just give you no trophy. Ain't nobody going to just give you no cookie and say, hey, here go you're a World Series champion. Nah, dog, it's going to take extreme focus. A lot of these environments, it's going to be a little colder. It won't be just summer baseball. That's why they call it the Winter Classic. Fall Classic, my bad, excuse me. But it's kind of, a little chillier in the fall than it is throughout the spring and in the summer when they're playing the 162 slate. But it's going to be intricate. It's going to be dope to see how baseball season concludes. And that's my baseball segment today. Football, man, there's been some very heartbreaking injuries to a few rookies. My heart goes out to JJ, man. I know the Vikings are very uneasy with what happened with you. I hope for a speedy recovery. Jim Schwartz, man, I think you're the Cleveland defensive coordinator. That was a joint practice injury. Yeah, man, you got to tone it down, man, and make sure them motherfuckers turned up like the preseason. Because y'all shouldn't be out there going low and hurt motherfuckers doing joint practices, man. Get that shit right, get that shit tight, man. Kansas City, man, you guys got an opportunity to do something that haven't been in a position to do in over 20 years. The last team that's been in a position to have a three-peat has been the New England Patriots. But Andy Reid, you got the nucleus, you got the weapons, you got the talent. Let's see what y'all got. But we already know it's a lot of teams in the LC West that's going to be hungry, that's going to be fighting to take y'all spots. So it's going to be very intricate to see how y'all season plays out. Y'all the top dog, a lot of people at y'all neck. So the pressure's on. Let's see what how Mr. Mahomes perform now. Because it's a lot of great and dope talent in the AFC that's coming for his spot this year. So football season is underway in less than a month. It's going to be very dope. It's going to be some very trying times when we're talking about, what's going on. And at the end of the day, I don't understand how, you know, people that just don't get it. You know what I'm saying? And, playing football, skateboarding, whatever the fuck you doing in life, you gotta get it. And I'm just trying to get it. And I know for a fact, it's gonna be a brutal football season. And it's a lot of teams, it's a lot of owners. They trying to get it. I know Jerry Jones is a little unpleased right now with CD trying to get some money. He deserved his money because he been top shelf. He been top shelf every year that he's been in the league, in the association. So yeah, pay that young bull, Dallas. Y'all out here playing with the bag. Y'all playing the game. Make him happy now. Because if not, you're going to fuck around and lose him. Baltimore Ravens, Lamar Jackson, y'all know what's at stake. There's a lot of people counting on y'all to close that deal this year. And they're hearing to y'all element. It seems like that was something y'all really been missing, some real balance in that backfield. So it's going to be pretty dope to see how y'all season plays out. But football season right around the corner, guys, less than in a month. And Sundays is going to be the man's fun day. And it's going to be a very long 4-month season going into the new year. College football right around the corner. We already know who's the most talked about college program in all of college football. So I'm very excited to see how they're going to fare out here in year 2 of their campaign. Sanders family, Travis Hunter, and Coach Warren Sapp to the roster as a coach. So it's going to be very dope to see how the Buffaloes pan out. My Georgia Bulldogs, they preseason #1 favorites to win it all right now. They got snubbed last year, disrespected. Carson Beck got a real-life chip on his shoulder, so ready to see how he going to command that offense and command that locker room here in year 2. Because the sky's the limit for him in the 2025 draft. So, big shout out to Athens, GA, the home state, the red and the black. Big shout out to you guys. It's gonna be a long haul season. But I know y'all built for it. I know y'all prepared for it. And winning is all y'all expect. For real. But it's been a blessing, guys. This been episode 45. Episode 46, we going live Monday. It will be Sid, the Leo day. My baby boy turns 3 years old. Oh my God. Most High, dear y'all, I'm so thankful that you had mercy on my son's soul. He was a COVID baby. He was a preemie baby. My son couldn't even just come home. He had to be monitored. He had to be cared for by people that weren't his parents, and it's a different type of love, man, when you had the parent in that manner. And I sent a big special shout out to his mother, a person that has meant a lot to me the last 12 years of my life, giving me 2 kids. We got a lot of work to keep doing as parents, but I'm here for it all. I'm just trying to do my best as a dad every day. Stay consistent, stay passionate about creative and thinkable goals and ideas. And in the end, everything we out here trying to accomplish and do and set goals and set one foot in front of the other to do is to make these kids happy, being providers for our families and for our seeds. And that's what this fatherhood, hip hop, and sports element was created for. I know, and I'm highly aware of all of the entities that I'm tied to outside of my little podcast, and it's a lot of work to do. It's a lot of work to do, man. Oh, big special shout out to OG Mr. Elvis Jones. His story is on the way. We got a whole different swing of a podcast that I need y'all to be on the lookout for. It's gonna be on the Pro Lift channel. But we got a whole different twist of a podcast and things we gonna be posting and coming with, because it's gonna be a lot about prison reform. We're gonna be bringing a lot of awareness about people that were criminally wronged by the judicial system. Um, were over sentenced, were kidnapped from the streets, and put in situations, that robbed them of freedom, robbed them of revenue, robbed them from opportunities of being parents and being people that would be able to build a family. You snatch a person out the streets, you lock them up in cages, put them on plantations. Man, you're robbing dreams from a person. You're not giving a person a fair shot at life in that society. And don't get me wrong, you commit a crime, do the time. But then if there are loopholes and bins and, juries that are not fairly, deliberating in a fair manner, you got DA offices fucking out here trying to, real life push issues to where it's deepening convictions, but we just try to, keep the statistics where it's supposed to be. And when we're talking about 10-2 law, man, oh man, that's what this whole Surviving Angola angle been about, because Angola as a whole, man, all I can say, man, go tap in. Fine Word Entertainment, go tap into that. It's active, it's anonymous, it's something that's, very raw. It's in its element right now, because we got brothers that made it home that they had to leave behind, brothers that they trying to get them home. And over here at Fine Word Entertainment, man, we just bringing awareness to some of the research, to some of the homework, to some of the interviews, to some of the things we've been conducting. And all I can say, I'm blessed. And OG Feeds, Mr. Robert West, Mr. Money Power Muscle, man, I love you. I'm very thankful that I was able to share a little bit about your life in episode 45. My son, he was a Leo right behind you and Nipsey, man. His birthday on the 19th. He's Monday, so I'm coming back with y'all episode 46 Monday, and it's gonna be a great day. So if y'all got some time, tap in, chime in, hop out, double back, whatever it is. Subscribe to the channels, like, dislike, whatever it is. But this shit is all from the heart. It's all of love. It's all raw. It's all facts. And I just hope and pray y'all all stay blessed and keep God first in everything y'all doing. But until Monday, let's have a blessed weekend. Let's be safe out here. Let's love on these babies. Let's be mindful. Let's be kind, because it don't take a dime to be kind. Hater energy, low vibrations. Just constantly around people that's bashing people. But we ain't bashing the system and bashing their money, bashing our cars into these ATM machines. Beware of those people, because a lot of people out here they're not happy with their lives. There's a lot of people out here they gonna speak on some things that they shouldn't be speaking on. But then again, we all human. We all make mistakes sometimes, and it's okay to forgive, but just never forget. But forgive. Holding grudges, holding hate in your heart is not okay. We all out here trying to heal. We all out here trying to stay on a journey. We all out here trying to stay optimistic and keep our goals and dreams alive. But it's the work. It's the work we got to keep putting in and keep pushing and just staying in the element. Until next time, guys, I love you guys. Thank you, YouTube, for giving Little Old Pro Lift this opportunity, this little platform to hop on and do some of the things that I like to do, talk about some of the things I like to talk about. And it's been a pleasure. But episode 46, Monday, Sid the Leo Day. I'm going to chime back in with y'all real quick and with the quickness. Until then, capiche.